With our media availabilities here at Richmond Raceway in advance of tomorrow night's Toyota Owners 400, we are joined by Ricky Stenhouse Jr., driver of the number 17 Fifth Third Bank Ford. If you raise your hand, we will get a wireless microphone to you to open up the questions. Go to Bob.
Bob Pockris, Fox Sports. Next race is Talladega. How much do you look forward to that from a racing standpoint, and how many friends do you think you'll have?
Heck, I felt like when we won our races at Daytona and Talladega, we didn't have any friends either. So, when you have a fast car, you tend to, back in the day, I feel like you had a lot of friends when you had fast cars, but now if you have a fast car, they want to shuffle you out so they don't have to contend with you. So a little bit different scenario. I feel like now going into speedways, a lot of times you can do a lot of things on your own at Talladega and Daytona now, though, as much as all of us have learned with side drafting. And, I'm interested to see how this package is going to draft, obviously different than what we've been running, so it is what it is. We'll go out there and do what we can and try and get a win. I always feel confident going there. And first off, we got to get through Richmond and kind of get our stuff back on track. We've had a rough couple weeks, on the racetrack. So hopefully we can, have a solid weekend here and get things rolling before we get to Talladega.
Stay over here on the left, Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, kickingthetires.net. Can you just talk about the dynamic with your team and working with Ryan this year and how things are coming together? It seems like y'all kind of turned a corner a little bit.
Yeah, I think, we started the year all strong on the 17. I think Ryan and the 16 were just struggling to get on the same page with each other. And now that they've got some races under their belts, I think they're on the same page. And they had a really strong run at Bristol last weekend, was decent at Texas. We both struggled at Martinsville a lot more than what we wanted. Felt like we had a really good Sunny D Ford last week. We didn't get to show anything for it, with our early incident there. But overall, I think the dynamic between the teams is really good. I think the dynamic with Ryan and myself has been, what it needs to be in teammates. And, I think the way he thinks and talks about and, goes through a race and a weekend has been beneficial to me. And I think we're going to continue to get better.
I heard y'all kind of gel pretty well.
Yeah, we got a lot in common. We definitely gel well. We were friends off the racetrack before we were teammates, and got a lot of the same interest. And so I think that always helps things go smoothly.
Additional questions for Ricky? Go in the back.
John Haverland, New Mexico Motorsports Report. I saw that Matt Yoakum tweeted a picture of you.
Yeah, that's
earlier.
lovely.
What's the story behind that? You look pretty young in that photo.
Yeah, I don't know what year that was. Probably 2014, I would assume. 2004. Sorry, he said a couple years old. Yeah, 2004. I started racing sprint cars in 2003, so I believe that was my second year running. Yeah, very very old picture. I'd appreciate it if he didn't put that out there.
Anything else for Ricky? Dustin and then Lee.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Talking about Talladega, I think there's been some talk about the potential with the package of maybe some sort of type of tandem drafting. Is that something that you're thinking is possible, or when you say you're kind of intrigued about what it's going to be like, what are you thinking it might be like going into it?
I haven't put much thought into it yet, but just wondering how the side draft's going to work is more of what I was referring to, and just how those runs are going to be different, how you can get different runs on cars, and then ultimately what you can do when you're out front to maintain the lead, because that's what our speedway racing's turned into is get to the top five, and if you're in the top two of each lane, bottom or top, how do you stay there? And I think a lot of people has it figured out now, but now that the package is going to change, is that still going to be something easy or capable of doing? And then, obviously the tandem, I don't know how that's going to work or not.
I want to ask you.
I assume it's still illegal, right? I don't know.
Find out.
Yeah, somebody will find out.
I also want to ask you, is obviously last week at Bristol, tires didn't wear as much, so people could take some gambles. There were different strategies. But I'm thinking here, typically the tire wears out a lot more. It's a little bit different construction. In practice, did you get a sense that you're still going to have that tire wear over a longer period, or is it going to be more like Bristol where, there might be some different pit strategies toward the end of the race?
Yeah, I doubt there'll be different pitch strategy. I think, when the caution comes out, you're going to want tires. I think so far within that one practice that we had, I think the tires are falling off, and with this package, falling off a little bit less than what they did in the 2 races last year. But no doubt when the caution comes out, you're going to want tires. And, that definitely made Bristol kind of cool and interesting towards the end of the race with the way the right sides didn't wear at all. You wanted left sides. You could probably go on the whole race with changing the right sides once or twice maybe. And but the left sides, you definitely wanted new tires. But here at Richmond, I think you're going to see everybody electing for tires.
Go ahead, Lee.
Lee Spencer, RacingVoice.com. Was there something that clicked for you at restrictor plate tracks, or did your package just get that much better?
I think our package got better. For the longest time in my Cup career, I feel like we got decent finishes, but we never really went and contended for wins. But we always put ourselves in the right position to, get a top 10, and that's kind of where we hung out. And, so we missed wrecks and had good pitch strategies and things like that, and put ourselves in position. But it wasn't till we really made our Speedway program better, faster, cars handling with speed, that I felt like we stepped our game up that much more, and we're able to go put ourselves in position to contend for wins, and and really have confidence going in to every Speedway race, knowing that we have a chance to win. So Jimmy Finning's done a great job with that, and it's something that anytime I'm in the shop, we're always kind of kicking it around of what he's learning, and what we're going to be bringing to the racetrack if he's confident with it. And so it's been cool to see him kind of take on that project and run with it. And now we got to elevate our short track and 1.5 mile programs to the standard that our Speedway cars are, and then I think we'll be where we want to be.
Does it help to have somebody as aggressive as Brian Patty calling the shots behind you as well?
Yeah, that definitely helps. There's times now in the Speedway races, I feel like it's not just about the car or what you can do with it on the track, but it's about strategy and track position, and when you're going to make your last pit stop, so that you can make that last pit stop before everybody else and keep that track position. And Patty is definitely not scared to roll the dice and see what strategy it works. We've had some really interesting strategies here at Richmond that have paid out for us. So definitely cool to have Brian on the box. And I feel like I've gone a few races where I've kind of questioned what he wants, and that tends to be bad for us when I start questioning. So I just revert back to letting him do what he wants to do.
And do you have a pick for the Masters?
I think a long time ago, earlier in the year, I think I picked Tiger to win, but I don't know. I'm definitely going from here straight to my bus to watch it.
Go back in the back.
CSPN Media. You're one of the more aggressive drivers on the in the series right now. How do you walk that fine line at a short track to keep that from getting a bullseye on you later in the race?
I don't know. I'll worry about that later. I think for me, I drive aggressive, when our cars are capable of running up front and putting us in a position to have a good finish. If we're running 20th, I'm not that aggressive. So I feel like I do pick and choose when I, turn it up or turn it down. And You know, if we have a car capable of running in the top 10, top 5, or winning, then I'll be aggressive and worry about things later. But if we don't have something that's very good and capable of running up front, then I'll probably just chill.
I'll stay over here to the right.
Andrew Fuller with the podium finish. 2 questions. One, how do you prepare for the race this weekend and get ready for it?
For us, I mean, it's, you know, looking at notes. You know, a lot of drivers, we like to rewatch races. You know, and then we look at, you know, what's changed with the cars and, you know, what's that going to do to our race car of, you know, what's it going to, you know, make it drive like on entry, center, exit, what's the lap time going to be like, and, you know, if they change constructions of the tire and things like that. So for us, you know, at Roush Fenway Racing, what we struggled with, we kind of look back at Phoenix. We struggled with the brake package at Phoenix. We didn't have that quite right. So, you know, as an organization, we worked on brakes, you know, coming into the weekend.
And also, what do you think about the new qualifying format for this weekend?
It's going to be chaotic. You know, to have only 5 minutes for all the cars to go out on the racetrack is going to be difficult. You know, we, as drivers and teams, you know, thinking back to Bristol last week, we didn't want to be first out because of the solution on the bottom of the racetrack. You know, it's better once it gets a little bit of heat in it and cars get on it, so we all wait. And then coming into Richmond, we all want to wait a little bit. You know, because normally there's a lot of rubber built up on the racetrack from practice, and so we want cars to go out on new tires and pick that rubber up, and the racetrack picks up speed. And so, you know, there's all different reasons why we all sit and wait to go out. You know, obviously at the 1.5 miles, it was you didn't want to be first, you wanted to draft. And so every racetrack is unique, and, you know, now I don't think it'll be that big of a deal if we get to qualify, because the rain's washed all the rubber off the track. And, you know, if the Xfinity cars get to qualify, it's not that much rubber that's put down on the racetrack. So I don't think you'll see cars waiting to go out as much as if we would have had, you know, a full day of practice and then, you know, go into qualifying with no track conditions changing.
Any final questions for Ricky? All right, Ricky, good luck this weekend.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for joining us.